What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome to Hunt the Week.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into the show. Welcome on each and every one of you rats, bats, and lizards. Yes, we are the animal folk. We are here on the forest floor. We may be tiny, but hear us roar. That's right, it's time. We are here. Bloomborough League is ready to kick off. This is the kickoff show for Bloomborough League. There's a lot to go on. It's Friday. Things are weird. Things are changing. Everything's a day behind. Pools are a day behind. Podcast a day behind. League start a day behind. We will get into it. This is Hunt the Week. It is your weekly Magic the Gathering podcast about the Arena Gauntlet League that we know, love, and play in. I am your Goku or Go Home, your Don John DeMarco, the pride of Mardu. I am a 4-time top 8er, a 2-time league winner, and 1 time I was getting ready to travel to Canada to meet up with a bunch of people from the server. That's right. It's Friday. Tomorrow, Saturday, I jump on a plane in the morning. I land in Toronto. I meet up with a bunch of people from the server. Richard's picking me up from the airport. We're partying at Cody's club. We're going up to a cabin to play Magic. I cannot wait. It's very exciting. But, hey, more on that next week when I give you a recap of that. This week, it's about Bloomborough. We are here. We are getting started. Let's figure out what the fox says.
And the seal goes ow, 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 but there's one sound that no one knows. What does the fox say?
That's right. Welcome to Bloomborough League. No one's in the lead. There's no top 8. We're all even Stevens. And there's been some weird things going on, right? So pools are normally rolled on Wednesdays. The pool thing wasn't ready in time. The bots aren't ready. Something's going on. They're still working on it. They're still fixing it. So they pushed back pool rolling to Thursday. Still not ready in time. They rolled pools this morning at about 11 a.m. And here we go. We got our pools. I got mine. It's not bad. It's not bad. I don't hate this thing. I don't love it. My mana base is real bad. And maybe everyone's is. It's week 1. It's like 2-color tribes, but the fixin' ain't too good. And I'm playing basically 4 colors. I don't really know what's going on. I'm tweaking. I'm playing my practice matches. I hope you do the same because it really helps. Playing my practice match and going, hey, this lands aren't really working out. Let's cut back some of the splash. Let's add in some worst cards in my main colors and give ourselves the best chance we have. Right? I don't mind losing. I don't mind getting beat, but I don't want to beat myself because I got a bad mana base and I can't draw the right colors for my cards. That's not how you want it to go down. Do your practices, people. We got our pools, but then big announcement today. The start of the league is actually delayed 24 hours as well. Probably because the bots aren't ready. All the bots were ready for the one kind of bot, the JSON bots, to be ready. They're not. So they got to figure out. League committee is doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work to try and make the league that they promised work the way they wanted to. And I wish them luck. I know they're working hard and working real hard on it. But only 6 days to play this week. We're still swapping over on Friday, so this is a short week, 6-day week. No minimum games to play, but still play all your games. It's not good to go minimum. Like it's nice that you won't be punished, but at the same time, you still will be punished next week when you're trying to catch up to everybody that was able to play all 5 games. So I've done a few drafts, and I've been watching all the announcement that Magic is doing. You know, they've been announcing Mystery Boosters 2 was announced today. They've been doing a lot of big announcements. I hope people have been paying attention to them. I don't know if anybody saw this, but while they announced Mystery Boosters 2 and Gavin Verney doing something that he's doing out there at Gen Con, they also announced why there was no tigers in Bloomborough, which I thought was very interesting. You know, they have all these animals. They've got otters, rats, mice, bats, frogs, so many animals, but no tigers. Everyone wanted to know, why no tigers? And Wizards responds with this statement. Hopping up out of my pond, I'm a frog, you're an otter. Time to squeak, now I hop to my feet, just a bat in his black-white archetype. So many times the rabbits went fast, The lizards Rakdos for glory. Don't lose your grip as you fly through the air. You're a bird flying high in the sky. It's time for Bloomborough League and it's animal time. Pick your favorite and play your best magic. Rats, squirrels, and mice grouping up in the night, but we'll fight them with all of our claws for the top 8. The raccoons are digging through trash, and the boons give you extras. Each time you lose, you get a little boost. Each win pushing you to the prize. Bloomborough League, animals in the night. All the chirps and barks for their rivals. And the last known tribe stalks their prey in the night. At the end, they'll be crowned the winner. There's no tigers. Wow, I can't believe it. I don't know if it answers any questions, but it at least answers the question, why no tigers? But it's Bloomborough League. Here's the thing. I have done a few drafts. I don't have a lot of feedback at the moment. I've been real busy getting ready for this trip and doing other stuff. The podcast is coming out late. This whole week has been very chaotic. I've only done a couple drafts. This is what I know. Green Blue Frog seems fun. Lots of value. Goes real long. And it plays the long game. I did a red-white mice and rabbit deck. That was pretty fun. It's good to be aggressive. It was a fun time. I've been playing black-blue. Here's the thing. All the colors seem pretty good. I've heard that maybe otters are the tribe that really don't pull it off together. But it's week 1. No one's going to have a tribe deck, a good full tribe deck. It's week 1. Everyone's playing weird stuff. Everyone's trying to splash all their rares and go as big as they can. It's sealed. And as we get our losses, we will, dwindle down to 3 2-colors till we get that perfect 2-color tribe pair. And then it's going to be a fun league to see which tribes make it out. Which animals? Is it the otters? Is it the lizards? Maybe it is the frogs or the mice. Who knows? We will be keeping an eye on it the entire time as we are in Bloomborough League. But yeah, I'm going to be playing my games up in Canada. I guess I'm going to be trying to play them in person. I was trying to get games in tonight, but that's not possible. So yeah, I guess I'm going to try and figure out a way to proxy my deck and play against people, or maybe just use somebody's computer. Haven't really figured it out yet. There's a lot of stuff up in the air, and as league committee figures this out, so are we, right? But again, the best advice I can do some drafts, but really play some practices. Build a deck, play practices, find what works, find what doesn't, make changes, do what you can. It's how you do well, and it will help you succeed to have the best deck and best time that you can. But I had to bring on someone from last league, someone who came on last league, and they get to come on again because they won the whole darn thing. That's right. Let's go ahead and talk to the animals.
If I could walk with the animals, talk with the animals, grunt and squeak and squawk with the animals, and they could talk to me.
Yep, I'm going to talk to the animals this week with none other than Michael B., a.k.a. Monkey Mage. And I can tell you right now, Michael is a fantastic Magic player. 2 leagues, 2 top 8s, 1 win. I mean, what a conversion rate. What can you say about the guy? He came on a couple weeks ago, was really nice to talk to. Great guy. Coming on again. Let's go ahead and listen to my interview with Modern Horizons 3 league winner, Michael B. All right, everyone, join me as we talk to the animals this week with Michael B., a.k.a. Monkey Mage. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Glad to be back.
Hey, you earned your spot. You came on just a couple weeks ago. You top 8, Modern Horizons 3. You win the Mega Draft. We're going to talk all about it. Last time we talked, it was, week 4, week 5, Modern Horizons 3. How did the rest of that league go? How was your week 5 and week 6?
Week 5, I think, went pretty well. I think I was 4-1 that week. Week 6, a little less, 3-2. I actually think if I got in one less, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have made it in top 8, so squeaked in.
Sometimes that's how it is, though, right? You squeak in, and no one was above, 3 matches. 3 matches is like the key for the mega draft. If anyone's too far ahead, it's hard to catch up.
Mhm.
But you squeak in, no one's too far ahead. You make the mega draft. Going in, did you do any prep? Did you watch any old ones? I mean, it was the Modern Horizons 3 six packs of MH3, so you kind of know what to expect, right? But did you have any kind of game plan going into the mega draft?
Not too much. Didn't want to. I do like in this format staying open, like,
Mhm.
wanted to, and I figured with 6 packs it's more important to do so. And I don't really mind drafting anything in this set for the
Mhm.
most part. I found it a pretty good set for just being able to draft most color pairs for the most part. So
And
I may
you
have stayed a little too open in the Mega Draft for a while,
I mean,
but
looking at your deck now, you drafted Jund, which is a color pair I don't think I played too much of in Modern Horizons 3. It's an interesting choice, but I see why you did it. You got the Toxis Deluge in black, the Emperor of Bones, these strong rares, but you also have Kozilek's Command. So you also got a double colorless card in your, 3-color Modern Horizons deck. Um, how did it play
I
out? Go
it
ahead.
played out pretty well. It had good top end. I actually ended up taking out the what was it? The trample equipment. I
Okay.
don't for Trickster's Elk just because I felt like I had enough top end and card advantage.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the deck played out pretty well. Had enough fixing, so didn't really get screwed too much. And I found colorless pretty free, honestly, in Eldrazi decks.
Nice.
Like even double colorless, I found it to be just pretty free in a lot of decks, at least that care about having making spawn and such. As for ending up in Jund, it was kind of a weird draft in that I started with somewhat heavy green, but picking up Shogungar, which is a
Mm-hmm.
double black demon,
Yep.
and looking at kind of being black only to find it kind of dry up. I don't like being black when I'm fighting too much for it.
Yeah.
And it turned out that I think it was Nick A was drafting black like right upstream of me. So
Mm.
ended up trying like speculating on black red for a while. Had a bunch of artifacts or whatever, but didn't end up going but ended up moving back to green after a lot green red after getting just some good Eldrazi cards and such.
Yeah, I mean it's hard not to want to be
Yeah.
green red when you got 2 Chrysalises, Springheart Nantuko,
Mhm.
Sylvan Safekeeper, 2 Ral and the Implicit Maze. Good removal, and not just removal, but like almost wipe their board sometimes removal, depending on how things are going.
Yeah,
Uh,
Rouse was actually really good for me in the actual top 8. I had a couple games where it just put me far ahead with just the first mode. And I found even against Eldrazi decks, I found it can be quite good sometimes. Like it kills a 2-drop and cleans up spawn quite
hmm
well.
Yeah, it's nice,
Yeah.
nice to get rid of those spawn.
And so
And you have 2 Infernal Captors, which is the threaten effect. Comes down, sack a creature, act of treason. Did you steal anything real big or real amazing with those? Did those come in to play in your games?
not too much. I think I did just steal a 4/4 to kill them once, but
That's enough. That's enough.
but I've honestly it's more in there for filler.
Okay.
It works well with a Curse Marauder and stuff like that. But
Yep. And you've got.
honestly, yeah.
Let's say
Honestly,
you.
I think I was saddest about was that the shifting woodland didn't get to use it at all. There's
Oh,
some fun things can do with that.
yeah. That's a real
Like
fun card, and it's a card that's
yeah,
so hard to use efficiently.
like
Like,
activating upkeep when you have a rouse in play or in the graveyard is really sweet.
ooh, I hadn't even thought about that. What a
Yeah,
great play.
but didn't get to do anything with it. But just got a lot of rares that helped a
Yeah,
lot.
a lot of rares.
Being 3-color grants you that, and at the cost of consistency to some degree. But
But I mean, you got good fixing. You got 6 of the no 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6 of the lands that can fetch Solar Transformer. You've got Legion Leadership, which is probably the best, MDFC. That the card steals games like out of nowhere. And again, you got Kozilek's Command, which is that card's a house. Like, what a great card that is. The deck looks great, I'm assuming I haven't seen the matches yet, but I'm assuming that the deck played great because it took you all the way to the end. Did you play Jordan in the finals?
Yes, Jamtron, yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
played.
the final boss if there ever was one. Jamtron in the finals.
Okay. Yeah, played. He was playing blue green Eldrazi, splashing red for Chrysalis and
Sure.
a similar Eldrazi,
Yep.
and then but played against two kind of not all in aggro decks, but aggressive, but creature beatdown decks before
Sure.
that, which I think is one of Eldrazi's better matchups, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so
It's hard for them to be fast when you're playing Chrysalis on 4. Like, yes, it just adds so much to the board, not just power. But even if they kill the Chrysalis, you've got your blockers, you've got good removal in here too. Two Wither and Blooms, Horrific Assault, gain a little bit of life and kill something against the aggro decks. You've got the Bridgeworks battles again, the Deluge, the 2 Rowls, and you've got the Devourer of Destiny up there all the way at the top. So yeah, and you've got the Waterscape Battle Mage. No blue in here. You didn't put any blue in for the Battle Mage?
nah, just not for the splash, and I just didn't see much blue. I think I looked after just to see who was next to me. Just couldn't remember who was next to me at the end to see what they were drafting, and it was Nick A drafting blue black. So that's kind of why I ended up moving. Felt like I was getting forced out of black, and so
And I don't think I've ever seen this
yeah,
Koram card. Koram the Undertaker, 1 and Jund. 05 plus X plus O. I don't know. I can't read it. It's hard to read on the screenshot. But
yeah.
how is that?
It was pretty good. It's just like a decent sized body with card advantage. It's 05. I don't remember what ability it has on it, if it's trample or something else, but for for Jund 1, I believe. And when it attacks you, each player mills a card and it has power equal to the greatest power in your graveyard, I want to say.
Oh,
And then you can play the milled cards that turn. So
yeah, seems great.
yeah,
Especially
got it late when it was already kind of thinking it was already kind of in those 3 colors. Like, I'd speculated on both green black and red black before feeling like, okay, black's cut, have to go.
yeah, have
green
to go
green red.
start getting
And
these greens.
And the amount of black splash was honestly just a testament to not having wanting more good playables, and the ones I had in the other colors were not as good and as the cheap removal, and yeah,
Yeah, but
were quite.
you got fixing to make it work. You got the Flare of Cultivation, the solar transformer, like I said, the 6 fetch lands. So you made it work. Yeah, you go all the way to JMtron, you beat him, you get the 3-0, you get the win. Congratulations, Michael Monkey Mage.
Thank you.
It's huge. I bow down to your magic prowess, magic master. You are the Monkey Mage. You really are.
No monkeys in this next set, unfortunately.
No monkeys in this set. No, none of that orangutan that you like so much. I'm sorry. They could have reprinted it here. I don't know why they didn't.
Yeah.
So
Only so much room, but yeah.
Well, there's no tigers. It's another thing. Why are there no tigers? We're all like the big animals. It's all little baby animals.
Yeah, maybe I think there might be an elemental. No, probably not for tigers, though.
No,
There's occasional elementals that are like one of those like elementals that have like one-off types or whatever.
Oh
but
yes, yeah. I don't know much. I know that there's a turtle. There's one turtle that's an
Yeah.
elemental, but he's a big turtle.
I think that's one of the best rares in the set right now, from what I've heard.
Funny
Let's see.
story.
Yeah.
We just did the roto. Were you in the roto? We
I
did
was
the
not
roto draft. I got that card 18th in the 18th round. So like it was my 18th card picked, and now everyone in my roto is like, "What the heck? We let this card go." Like I don't know, 18 times 8 is what it was. But
Oh, were you doing like was it like picking cards from the list of cards available in the set?
It was like every card in the set, and then everyone picks one card one at a time, and you go back and forth. It takes like a
Okay,
week.
yeah.
But it's super fun, and they always do it now at the start of the set before it's like a
Okay.
week before it comes out, when no one really knows what's good and people are just kind of trying to figure it out.
And you
it's,
got that 18th pick?
yeah, 18th, in my raccoon deck. Apparently nobody wanted it, but there's only like two other green drafters, and they're trying to go
Yeah.
small.
Yeah,
They
but
didn't care about it.
I heard someone talk. I was listening to a podcast on my long drive, and someone was saying that was like the best card in the set right now or something. So,
Has the highest game in hand win rate. So now
okay.
everyone in my pod is like, oh, hey, maybe we're messing up these card evaluations.
Oh, that's very nice.
But hey, I got it, and it's
Yeah.
doing me some favors, so I'll take it. But we got to get back to you, Michael. 2 leagues, 2 top 8s, 1 win. What's your secret? I got to know. Are you one of those people that plays really slow and really takes time to figure things out? Do you just, know your strengths and you play your archetypes and you play to your strengths? Or are you just that dang good, Michael? What is it to have this kind of numbers behind your name? Like what's helping you do it?
I do get to play to my strengths in that I think sealed favors what I prefer, which is
Yeah.
slower, grindier decks. And like, I also tend to think that too many people try to build aggressive pools when it's wrong. So, like, I even tried with this set just because my set pool at the beginning, and wasn't working well. So, yeah.
It's aggro. Aggro. It seems like it's almost always a trap and sealed. Like it's so hard to get. It's 60,
Yeah.
especially in 60 cards. Like there's just too much water.
Yeah.
There's too much fluff, and it's like you need those really aggressive starts. And if you don't have them, you're gonna fall apart. 60 cards in aggro is just really tough. It really is.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
60 cards in value, that's a match made in heaven, Michael. That's you're drawing cards. You're flickering things that draw cards. You're doing stuff. You're returning cards to your hand and replaying it. So much value.
Mhm.
Well, you come in, you do it again. Congratulations. You play to your strength. Man, sorry for all the aggro players in the league that wish they could play aggro. And really, it's just not the thing to do. It's hard to do.
I did get run over by a couple at the end of the league. Like, there were a few good aggro decks up there.
That's kind of what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Is that near the end, like you'd have some really really good aggro decks. But also like you said, Eldrazi's got a good matchup against aggro, and there were so many Eldrazi decks by the end that it's just hard for aggro to keep pace. It really is.
Well, that's what looks like what this next set is for.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. What a great transition into our next question. We're in Bloomborough, where Bloomborough has been draftable for a few days now. Have you been playing? Have you been doing some Bloomborough drafts?
I've done like 5, I think.
Okay,
As many as I could with the limited time I had. Yeah.
It's about as many as
Yeah.
I've done. I think I've done 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I'm kind of close to you, but
Yeah.
what do you think? You think it's a little bit more aggressive? You think it's a little faster?
I think so. I think blue looks to be a little bit down. Like,
Yeah.
the first three decks I played were all blue based, and partially by chance, partially because the decks I wanted to try most were frogs and otters.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that leaned that way a little bit, and both of those kind of fell hard. So,
I've
like-
been a
like-
little impressed with frogs more so than otters, just because frogs
Okay.
can get these little value engines going.
Yeah, I felt like frogs struggled to win the game, but I've only done 1 draft of it. But I felt like I struggled to have actually good ways of winning the game, finishing out the game.
I understand that. Yes.
I had one where I basically drew through my deck, but just got stopped by a big reach creature. I'd used up a couple of my removal spells already, and the third really big reach creature they brought it back from the graveyard, and
Oof.
it just couldn't quite get enough damage through it. So
The two things that I've seen that really helps frogs win is one, there's the enchantment. It's not a saga. It's like the classes, but it's like whenever creature power 3 or less is unblockable on the second phase of it. Real good way to push damage through. And there's one frog that's like when it ETBs, one creature gets unblockable this turn. And then
I have seen that one.
Yep. And then if you're frogs, you're probably flickering that or bouncing it and recasting it. Those are the ways I've seen to end games, but I do agree. In my frog decks, I'm drawing cards, I'm doing stuff, but I'm kind of just turning my wheels and like trying to find a way to get through. And it is tough. It is tough. Not a lot of trample, not a lot of evasion in blue green. Like some flying, but there's lots of flying in this set. Flying's everywhere.
And plus, you don't really want most of the flyers are birds and such, which don't
Yeah.
really work with the frog theme. Yeah.
You got to get that one bird frog
Yeah.
that like flickers a thing, but it's a 5 mana 3/3. I don't want to play 5 mana 3/3 flyers. It's not great.
hmm
So you've been playing a few. Do you have any tips? Do you think it's more aggressive? Do you think you want to avoid blue? Do you want to play these aggro
I
decks?
think it's definitely more aggressive. Like I've had some games where, like I said, I tried some blue decks.
Mhm.
Blue black worked well for me, but otherwise they kind of felt a little weak. Definitely looks like and this might be applicable to sealed, is that single target removal seems worse, quite a bit worse than the set. I mean, kind of
Yeah.
expected with offspring and tokens as mechanics and such, but it's just like aggressive creatures seem good. Uh, might not still probably can play a value deck in sealed, but
Yeah,
we'll
probably in
see.
sealed fine. But yeah,
But
in
but in draft, it definitely seems like being low to the ground is going to be better. Like playing even a cheap removal spell against an offspring creature just feels so bad. Like, or at least a good offspring creature. Yeah.
and there's tons of ways to like get blown out. There's like a 2/1 flash bird that gives something hexproof. There's tons of
Yep.
ways to flicker or bounce stuff like in response to things. Um, Johnny said this really interesting thing. Let me see if I can find it because he's a very smart guy. Um, one of the things that I've really noticed about this format is it's very punishing if you miss a land drop up to like 4 or 5. If you miss a land drop, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, it's just so hard to come back. Like if you're not constantly putting out things that can attack
Mhm.
or things that can block. I've definitely had that happen to me a couple times. Yeah, here we go,
Yeah. No
Johnny.
more MDFCs for us. Yep.
No more MDFCs, no fixing. Like fixing's not
Yeah.
very good in this set. It's not a 3-color set really. Like it's pick your 2 colors, maybe splash
Yep.
one thing, maybe, but it has to be
Mhm.
worth it. Um,
One thing I liked in pre-release, I don't think it'll be as good in draft, but in sealed might be. I actually liked. I think again, still have not
it's
small
early.
sample size.
Yeah.
Was the artifact 1 mana artifact that looks kind of like a lantern or
Yeah.
like I actually I didn't have it in my deck at first, and I was like, I kind of actually like this in sealed because it plays it. If you think about it, it's kind of like a 2 mana, either find a 2 mana land cycling or 2 mana cycling,
Yeah.
where you can either get a random card or a land, which just adds a lot of consistency for sealed. Like
And I'll tell you,
probably,
right now
yeah.
I've got a 4-color frog deck in the league. I got one of those things and I can play it and then bounce it back to my hand with a couple frogs, and I can kind of keep finding the lands that I need to find with it, which is, I
Okay.
mean, I'm not saying it's an amazing value engine, but it's
Yeah,
something.
but
It's
it fixes
something.
your
Like,
colors if you
yeah,
need it, really need it. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
again not a lot of fixing, so you got to get a little creative with the fixing in this set.
Mhm.
Oh, this is Johnny. Johnny, great player. Used to play on the pro tour. Super, just such a great player and great smart person. This was his intuition on Bloomborough. My impression of this set is that it revolves entirely around the combat step. How to be too big to block, how to push damage, how to trade up, how to get your opponent with a trick, how to take away your opponent's attacks, etc. So Johnny thinks that this is a combat focused set, which would make sense when we're saying that removal is not that great, because removal doesn't have a lot to do with combat, and it really does feel like you're either beaten down or you're trying to stay alive. It's always one of those two
Mhm.
things.
Yeah. And I do think there are probably going to be some decks. Like I think Squirrels might have some. It might end up being better as a beatdown deck, but it seems like it has the tools to stay alive better than some of the other decks, and while
Yes,
still being kind of grindy. All the
and
food for one just on its own,
that
and
food, yeah,
can
nothing
stay
like life gains
stabilize.
to make aggro not really be a thing. I've tried red white. That was actually the best draft I've had so far. Was a red white deck. I went 6-3 with it. Didn't go all the way, but even aggro, I don't know. It's like you said. There's the board gets flooded quickly. It seems like you can kind of
Mhm.
just throw your hand on the board and just kind of see what happens.
Hmm.
Well, Michael, we got some questions from the league. They wanted to know, now that you're a champion, they want to know more about you, as we all do. And they did not disappoint. Are you ready for your league questions?
Sure.
This question is from Jack H, aka Rakic. How does it feel having the best top 8/win conversion rate out of, I think, literally anyone else? 100% top 8 rate, 50% league win rate. Congratulations. How's it feel?
Feels great. Feels like it can also only go down from here. I mean, unless I get another win,
That's true. It's really hard to raise that any of these percentages up.
Yep.
But I mean, you got them. You got the numbers to your name. We were joking a bit off air. You just never play a league again. You retire as like king, automatic Hall of Fame induction, best rate ever. I mean, you're playing Player of the Year, right? You got the Player of the Year invite.
Did I? I actually haven't been.
Yeah,
I've been a little busy.
So that's actually one of the other questions. That's Adams. We'll skip down to that one, which is fun. But you get a few things for winning a league on top of all the store credits that you get. You get a bunch of store credit, right? That's the big prize. As a league winner, you get an invite into the Player of the Year tournament, which is what you were played in the Rookie of the Year spot for that. If you would have won that, you would have been in Player of the Year. This year, you get the automatic entry because every league winner gets an entry. So you're automatically playing in Player of the Year, which they've announced the rules for. It kicks off after Bloomborough. So it's not for another 6 weeks, 7 weeks, something like that. Then it's a 2-week tournament with different things each week. Round robin play, and then it goes to a top 8 where you draft a pack of every set we played this year in league. So it's Modern Horizons, Bloomborough, Khans of Tarkir, every league they had. I think it's every league. Don't quote me on the rules, but but free entry. You're in it. You're automatically in it. And if you win Player of the Year gets a little bit of prize money, but I think the real cool prize for Player of the Year, on top of like being Player of the Year and getting your name kind of special and in purple on top of the server, you get free entry into every league for the next year. So,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So you've already got all the store credit. I mean, you could just play forever for free anyway, but then you get that on top of it. You're playing for free. You've gone infinite, my friend. You do that, you've just gone infinite forever. But a league winner also gets to add either an emoji to the server. All the emojis that people use on the server. Every winner gets to get one made in their honor. Or you get to have a sound clip added to the soundboard of your choice. One of those two.
Oh, that sounds like the real prize there.
Yeah. That's a good one, right?
Yeah.
So, if you didn't know that was there, you're not going to be able to answer Adam's questions. But his question was, does he know that he gets to make an emoji or soundboard clip? Any idea of what it could be? No rush if you don't know.
First thought is a monkey face.
Oh, that's a good one.
So maybe an actually from Uktabi orangutan. Maybe a small picture from that if that's allowed.
I'm sure it would be allowed. I mean, you might have to find like a decent version of it and then see how it looks once they shrink it down. But you get your own special Michael B. Monkey Mage emoji custom added to the server as part of being a winner. So no, don't rush into it though. It's something to think about. Like I said, you get a sound clip. You could add a monkey, ooh, 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 ooh. You could add a mage, lightning bolt, something. I don't know. There's a lot of options out there. The question comes from Miranda L. Black Canary, the Great Watcher. What is your least favorite animal?
Least favorite animal.
We did best last time you were on. We talked a lot about animals. This time, what animal don't you like, Michael?
You thinking in this set, in Bloomborough, or in general?
Just in general. Your least favorite animal, just in general. You don't like sharks. You don't like birds for some reason. You don't think they're real.
There's none that I really, really dislike, I think. I mean, snakes maybe, but even then, it's like still cool. Like,
yeah, I'm not opposed to snakes.
Wouldn't want to be close to one, but
snakes are a scary thing because they move, they slither, they move so weird.
Yeah,
you watch a snake move, it's like nothing you ever seen
But it
before.
still doesn't bother me that much. Like,
No, they're cool. They
yeah.
shed their skin, you know. I had a pet snake growing up. They don't make great pets. At least the ones I had didn't, because they were real tiny and they didn't really do anything. They'd bite me sometimes. But I was also a child who probably shouldn't have had a snake as a pet. So that's a whole nother thing.
Maybe
Um,
skunks. I don't know. Just yeah.
that's a good one. Skunks are so cute though, but man, that stinks.
Yeah, they are. They are. Yeah. Hmm.
I'm trying to think of an animal that I'm just like, man,
Yeah, it's hard to find one that you really, really dislike. Like some that I'd like wouldn't want to be around or something, but actually find annoying or
yeah, or dislike, or be like, man, I keep thinking like mosquitoes, like, oh, that's a bug. It's a different thing,
yeah.
you know. And fish are maybe just boring to me. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Maybe we're both just animal people, Michael. I like
Yeah.
animals. You know, I got nothing against them. It's hard for me to say bad things about them. Our next question comes from Tony G. Why not Rock? How does he expect to top this record? How you going to do it? What's next? Player of the year?
Yeah, I
Maybe.
have to do have to do very well in either the player of the year or this next league to raise the record.
Are you? So that's the next question. Undefeated in Blueboro. Did you sign up for Bloomberg last time we talked? You
I
had
did.
mentioned that
Yeah.
you were
Yep.
possibly not coming in, but you're back.
Yep. I had like I took like 2 minutes I've had like 2 minutes to look at what I actually got for the pool, but
Ooh, that's
I haven't really
exciting.
had time. But
That's exciting because I wasn't expecting you to play. I thought you were a busy man. I mean, I know you're a busy man, but
I am, but I can make time for Magic. I usually do.
it's
So
it's hard not to, right? In the league, it's like,
yeah.
oh, it's addicting, especially you just win. You know, you got to come back. You know, like
Mm.
you're you're one of those people that's going to be like, I'm going to think of you as one of the scariest people now, Michael. Every time I see you like looking and playing games, I go, I don't want to play Michael. That's Michael B. Monkey Mage. That guy's nuts. Like, uh, undefeated in Bloomberg League. It's coming. It really is. That question was from Tony.
Not with this pool.
But, yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of the league, though, right? It's like
Yeah.
even if the pool is
Yeah.
bad,
No.
a couple losses and you're right
Yeah.
back in it. And we still got play boosters. You know, these packs.
Oh yeah.
They're
There.
still open in this raiders. There still are. Richard K. Preacher would love to know monkey bread or chunky monkey ice cream.
Ice cream all the way.
Yeah,
No. Yeah.
I like that. I like ice cream. I do like a monkey bread too, but chunky monkey specifically. Do you like chunky monkey?
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's up there. And yeah, like peanut butter, think caramel, one of those two. Either way.
Yeah, it looks like banana, chocolate covered bananas, maybe some kind of nut.
Yeah.
Our next question comes from Evan C. Peas of Crabs. Any hot takes? I assume this is about Bloomberg. Any hot takes on Bloomberg? You loving it? You hating it? Too fast? What do
I
you
think
think?
it's probably based on first impressions and what I've heard so far. I'm probably gonna not love it. I think I'll be okay, but or it seems a lot of standard sets, like the last three at least. Blue's been pretty. I enjoy blue being good. I enjoy slower sets, and
Yeah.
it's been kind of the opposite for a while with standard sets. And so, uh, I was happy to be in Modern Horizons 3 drafting for a while. A little bit slow, funny, stronger cards, but a little bit slower than some of the other
Also,
sets. I think.
it was
Uh,
also just such a great
yeah,
draft format. Like
yep,
Modern Horizons 3 was great.
yeah,
It's
just
it's
sweet.
it was
Uh,
really good. It's hard to follow that up.
Yeah. Hot take for that one. I think I would have to, you'd obviously have to try it out, but I think Chrysalis might have been a net positive overall. Like
Really?
just I think pushing Eldrazi slowed down I think I would be worried if you cut Chrysalis, I would be worried to see if Eldrazi was just weak enough that energy aggro just took over. Like the blue white and red white especially energy decks were just really good sometimes. Like you had
Yeah.
those games where your opponent just played Amp Raptor and hit a 2-drop and it was like, oh, game's over, time to pack up.
I love the energy decks, but mostly like the Jeskai, like try to
Okay,
combo
yeah.
off with something decks. Like,
Oh
oh,
yeah. Scurry of Gremlins was a messed up card. That was a
Brave
rough one.
Gremlins.
I had a
You go ahead.
I had an Eldrazi deck where I was playing red-green Eldrazi, and I just splashed white for like two scurry of gremlins, and it was amazing because it was like you'd have like six spawn in play, and it would be like, okay. I remember one game comes to mind where my opponent was at like 17 life. They attacked with two creatures. I untapped with 7 mana, seven other mana, three spawn, and had two scurries in hand. And it was just like scurry of gremlins, you're dead. It was like just
Made
feels
like
so
made like
so
20
DM.
energy
Like,
or something.
yeah, it just feels but it was that was like the card that was more than any card like Amped Raptor and Scurry of Gremlin. I liked Scurry of Gremlins because I was more often the one playing it, felt like,
Yeah.
but Amped Raptor just two drops off of that. Like, so I think like I do feel like Chrysalis kind of opened up the ability to play the black decks a bit more because black decks were good against Eldrazi to some degree because you had like the premium removal spells, Cursed Marauder to like kill
Mhm.
Chrysalises and such. And
Yeah.
I think it made the black decks better, which were, considering they were the weakest deck, I think was important to some degree. I don't know. I mean, it's a hot take, but
I
I think
love
it
it.
might have been,
I love it.
I
Those
think
those
it might have been good for the format.
those blue black decks were a hot they were a hot deck for a while, and it makes sense because a lot of people are drafting Eldrazi, and
Yeah,
it's it's hard to beat Eldrazi except for maybe unless you're out beating
yeah,
them with value, which blue black did.
yep. And then green black and all that. I loved playing. My favorite card in the set was of the Phyrexian altar creature. What was it? Soul Taker, Soul Gorge, or something,
Oh yeah, yes, I think it's Soul Gorger. Is
or
that it?
yeah, the one that sacks to make a treasure, and
Yeah,
just
yeah, the
playing
rare.
like all sorts of nonsense
I saw a really
to
great
drain your
combo
opponent.
with that and Kappa Cannoneer, where it was just like
Oh, I haven't seen that one. I've seen.
every turn they can make it unblockable. It was so good. So,
No, I've seen it with a couple of the black uncommons, but I haven't seen it with that. I hadn't seen it with
oh,
that one. That's pretty sweet.
it
Yeah.
was great. It was gross. It was very gross. To touch back on Scurry of Gremlins real quick. Congratulations to our zombie winner for Zombie League Modern Horizons 3, John P. Goku or Go Home. I did, of course, bring this up during the show. But I won Zombie League. I made top 8, and I ended up playing a red-white aggressive deck, and I had a Scurry of Gremlins in there. And I won so many games just by like timing Scurry of Gremlins to
Oh
like
yeah.
the
Yep.
right turn, or like playing Scurry, waiting, um, casting Suppression Ray, tapping their whole board, getting everything in for a bunch. Um, Scurry of Gremlins is a dumb card, but a fun card. It's fun.
Yeah, it was one that didn't really, unlike Amped Raptor bothered me a little bit sometimes, whereas Scurry never bothered, even when you were dead. Like
Yeah,
I
Scurry's like
remember
you
one
did
where my opponent
something.
just wrecked me on turn 4 with it, and I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah, it's like you curved out good, you played all your stuff right, you made a bunch of energy. Congratulations, you did the thing.
Uh,
After it's like you flipped into something. Oh, you flipped into something amazing. Sure, great.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that game that I got wrecked on turn 4 also included two Amped Raptors that flipped into a Guide of Souls and a removal spell. But
I I understand why you're still salty about
but
the Amp Raptors now.
I wasn't salty about that one. I was just like, okay, okay, this is just you've I'm already dead.
Our
But yeah.
last question comes from Nick A. Neestar. He drafted with you in the mega draft. He was the one you mentioned earlier, was taking all your black
Mhm.
cards. He would love to know. Even champions make mistakes, right? What was your biggest punt in Modern Horizons 3 or otherwise? Is there a everyone's scared, Michael. You're 100% top 8, right? 50% league win, right? Tell the people that even you make mistakes. What's a punt that you've made?
I don't have like a really great one from Modern Horizons 3. Not because I didn't make them, but because they just don't come to mind. Or at least none of the cinematic ones come to
Mm-hmm.
mind. Like, the thing that comes most to mind was I didn't reevaluate my pool soon enough. I think I had the same. I remember reevaluating it after a loss where I didn't really get anything good
Mm-hmm.
and moving into blue green at that point from white blue.
Yep.
And I definitely could have reevaluated either the loss before or maybe even before that. Like I do remember I got like Ugins binding that loss before, but or something
Mm.
like that. So good card, but I still could have moved into blue green earlier.
I,
So
I
good
saw
re
you do a lot of stuff with that Ugins bind. You just brought back some memories of you winning tons of games in week 6 with Ugins binding. You played the crap out of that card. It was great. It was great.
yeah. Punts that come to mind, uh, let's outside of it, I remember one where it was like where it one that comes to mind is because it was my first RCQ. I remember I remember making it I made it all the way to the finals in the first one, and I felt great. I was like, that's why I started playing more competitive Magic. But in the finals, I remember I sacked it. It was in New Capenna, and I sacked a creature to casualty to like tap something, draw a card or whatever.
Sure.
And I remember thinking, okay, I want to hit I wanted to hit a sixth land drop or whatever for a sixth drop.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't really think it through right because they'd been playing a red black deck with multiple edict effects.
Mm-hmm.
And so sacking the creature meant my sixth drop was then later, a couple turns later, vulnerable to the edict effect.
It
And
happens.
that was one that sticks out where it's like, oh, I might not have hit the land drop if I hadn't sacked it, but because I needed to draw the cards. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that looking back, when I look back afterwards, that one stuck in my mind as like, because it's like those important games where it's like
Yeah.
really mattered, but also ones where you could have looked ahead, but wasn't obvious at the time,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. But I think it was the wrong decision, and so that one sticks in my mind still, just occasionally when I'm thinking about punts and such.
It happens to all of us. It
Yep.
happens to all of us. All right, Michael Owen, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, for winning Modern Horizons 3 League again. Congratulations to you, our newest league winner, player of the year invite, possible monkey emote incoming. Anything you'd like to say before you go?
I don't think so. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, again, it's been a pleasure, and excited that you came back for Bloomborough, but scared, a little bit more scared now to know that you came back for Bloomborough, Michael. That's all I can say. Well,
I'll be in the anonymous LFM.
I'll see you out there. Maybe we can get a game in.
Sounds good.
All right, good luck out there.
Have a good one.
All right, for full clarity, have not recorded this yet. It's Friday at 5 p.m. I'm meeting up with him at about 10 more minutes, but I'm trying to get ahead of stuff a little bit because I got a bunch of packing and stuff to do for this trip. But Michael B., I'm sure he was a great guest. He was great last time. He's a winner. He's a nice guy. He's a great player. I want to find out his secrets. I want to know what it has, that juice, that secret sauce that he has that we all want. I want it, Michael. I want that sauce. Give me your secret sauce. And I hope you're ready for Bloomborough League. We're getting ready to kick off. I know it's a weird start. It's not normal. This is abnormal for the last league of the year, but hey, go ahead and have fun with it. Again, play your practice. Just more time for your practice games. That's what it is. Go out there, get your practice matches in, and get ready. Figure it out. What's going on? What are you splashing? You splashing that bomb rare? Or is it too bad on your mana base? Is it too hard to get that splash in there? I don't know, but I hope you do. And I hope you get to keep a good 7, because that's what it's all about. Especially in this format. The one thing I've really learned, you can't miss like any of your first 5 land drops. You got to hit lands 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you got to have stuff to do on those turns. It's easy to get run over. It's easy to get behind. Don't play yourself. Keep a good 7 and have that shuffler be in your favor. There's lots of scry, there's lots of surveil, there's lots of card draw. But you need the shuffler to be giving you the cards that you want when you need them, or it's not gonna work out. I hope everyone has a great first week in Bloomborough League. I know I'm having a great time right now as you listen. I'm up in Canada. I'm in Toronto. I'm eating poutine for the first time in my life, and I'm having a blast. And I hope you are too. Until then, we'll see everyone here next week for Bloomborough Week 1. Bye, everybody.
Sorry for rambling on a little.
Hey, it's okay. I was saying your praises too much before we started, and that always comes back to bite me in the end for being a cheapskate and not paying for a resume.
No, I'm completely on the same page.
But hey, thanks for still being around and finishing this up. So again, thank you so much, Mike. You've been such a joy to talk to.
It's been fun being on. Really love that you do this podcast for this league. It's really sweet.
Thank you. You know what? That's really nice to hear. I always love hearing that people like listen to the show and like coming on and being a part of it. I know it's I try to get a lot of people on, and a lot of people are like scared and don't want to come on. But it's a fun, easy talk, and I do it because I love the league, and it's nice to get to know people like you, right? Like get to chat with you, and everyone gets to learn about you, and I like doing it. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's fun to talk about Magic. Also, it's always fun.
Right? It's easy. It's easy to talk about Magic. That's the one thing we all have in common, right? Is we like Magic, and we like it enough to play the way we do it. So we got a lot to say. We have opinions. We all got Magic opinions.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's wrap this thing up, and then you can have a good night and go look at your pool and see what you're doing.
Okay.